With a lot of updates within Warzone's history, we saw that there was an Easter egg of some kind that gave some exclusive rewards. Season 3's update and Season 2's update before that didn't quite carry that on, but for a good while we had a string of updates that introduced us to individual Easter eggs each time we went along with exclusive rewards. Now, this mid-season update, Season 3 Reloaded, is kind of a stepping stone here because it doesn't give you a brand new blueprint reward exclusive to this event. Maybe put an asterisk on that one, but it does offer up a quest line that offers some great ways to benefit your game, which you definitely want to take advantage of. Today we're going to run down a full guide on how to master this, what to look for, and what you'll yield when cracking Nakatomi Plaza's uncrackable vault. As we go along, let me know your thoughts down below. How do you like these rewards? Drop a like if you guys enjoy the video. Maybe share it to a friend if you want to help them out at some point. And also, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button to stay up to date with all things Warzone and anything COD related, as we're on that road to 500,000 subscribers. But that said, let's jump right into the guide at hand. So first things first, Nakatomi Plaza right now is the hottest place on the map. If you can wait and you have some better self-control than I, you won't be as pressed while doing this kind of stuff in, say, a few days' time when everything's cooled off and everything goes back to normal. Once everyone's had their fill of this new point of interest, it's going to be going back to business as usual. But know that right now, it may be tough to do. As it stands, there are 3 ways that you can open the vault. Each tasks you with doing various things in, on, and around Nakatomi Plaza. The first and most easily recognizable one is that of the new unfinished business contracts. Every game, pending no glitch that I saw in one lone game out of a few dozen, these will spawn at their same locations every time. There's 3 of them, so if you miss one of them, you still have an opportunity to get an access card. Once you activate this unfinished business contract, you'll be tasked with finding and opening caches like you would with any other scavenger contract. These are relatively static spawns. The locations may differ depending on the contract, but the general locations are all the same from my experience. Your first box will be on the ground floor, your second on the second floor, and third on the third floor. Simple enough, right? You'll have about 4 minutes to complete this contract, so ample amount of time if you want to clear out the building a bit and get rid of some enemies. Better to do it earlier on instead of gaining access to the card, dying, and giving your enemies a free pass. But once you complete the contract, just like any other scavenger completion, you'll get a bonus cash and some extra loot like an armor satchel, but most importantly, a key card. More specifically, the vault key card number 1. These have corresponding rewards, which we'll talk about in a second, but this allows you to open up the vault on the 31st floor, so don't lose that. The second way to gain access and obtain this is by completing one of 2 in-game events. The first of which is easier, and that is activating the hostile fire event, where you need to find and disarm the C4 that is placed upon the rooftop of Nakatomi Plaza. This is activated when any player initiates the defuse sequence on any one of those C4 charges on the rooftop. It can be you, it can be your teammate, it can be an enemy. As soon as someone touches it, it's live and fair game. So you'll have 2 minutes to deactivate it at that point, but be on the lookout for anyone who may be wanting to bait those and take the key card away from you. But all you have to do is disarm those 4 C4s. Each takes about 5 seconds to defuse, but also note that you can't look away or anything. It's not like reviving your squad mate where you can spin in circles and such and keep the interaction going. You need to be laser focused on those charges. Once you complete this though, the final C4 will do a celebratory explosion, drop you some loot, and again, most importantly, the vault key card 2. Again, specifics do matter surprisingly, but this will allow you to gain access to the vault on floor 31 as well as the vault key card number 1. The number designation is only important to the second part of the hunt, which we'll talk about in just a second. The third and final way you can end up obtaining access to the vault is by doing the deal gone wrong mission, which to start this you need to find the open backed cargo truck in P2, the lowest level of the parking garage below the plaza, and from there you end up starting an arms deal that you have to take out the enemies that are NPCs here. Now, this is a 2-wave thing, so the first one is essentially just taking out the base grunts here, and then in wave 2 you start to see more armor, and of course there is a Juggernaut. Now, the Juggernaut honestly is no joke. He takes a lot of ammo to kill, and he ends up doing a lot of damage with his shots. So make sure you're taking some cover, make sure you're mounting, getting as much shots as possible to land, and once you end up taking him out, you'll end up getting that 3rd key card, which will allow you access. Maybe one of the hardest parts though of this is that time period between when you complete the event and getting the vault to open. Not dying, because there will be people camping it. I implore you, please don't be that guy, but know that it does happen, and it's happened to me a few times already while getting footage recording this. But what you want to do when you complete this is go up to the 31st floor. Usually you can take a zip line up to the 30th and just take the staircase to the loft. But right near the boardroom, you'll see a rotating door, which may seem familiar, as well as a cart with a computer and other gadgets on it. This is actually interactable, and unless you have a key card, you'll get the error sound that you did when selecting the wrong phones in the phone's Easter egg that was relating to Bunker 11 about a year back in Modern Warfare's main year of support. But once you interact with that card, you'll be greeted with a banner that says your account name and that you're an exceptional thief. The rotating doors open, incredibly slow may I add, but once you jump in, you'll be rewarded with the riches that you can get. This will vary greatly depending on the mode you're playing, either BR or Plunder. For my sanity's sake and recording purposes, I played Plunder. The yield in Plunder was about $500,000 in cash, which, if you're going for wins in Plunder, is not half bad at all and is a nice boost to that score. To go from perhaps last with 0 cash to first in a few minutes time frame for simply doing a scavenger contract or disarming 4 C4 charges that take less than a minute to do, that's not bad at all. There's usually a chest spawn in there that will reward you with a score streak or a field upgrade along with said cash, but it's still a lot. In BR, from my understanding, it's drastically lower of a yield, though still absurd for Battle Royale. About 100,000 in cash and a few specialist bonus tokens that will reward you with all the perks in the game active at once, which is huge in BR, obviously. That cash, though, guarantees a loadout, or 2 if you're feeling cheesy, multiple advanced UAV, big boys if you want for that triple UAV strategy, buybacks, self-revives, and basically anything you can imagine. That's more money than you'll ever need, I think, in a BR by far. Now, that's awesome, right? But as we mentioned, the keycard specifics are important, and that's finally where this comes into play. Once you open up the vault, you'll find at the back 3 safety deposit boxes that can only be opened up by the specific keycards that you have in your inventory. Is it possible to get all 3 if you do all 3 missions? I suppose, but good luck with that. But each one of these will correspond with a designated safety deposit box. It will only open the one marked for that one, and the others will not open naturally. Now, interestingly, I believe these actually may be static rewards unless my luck is just impeccable across the handful of times that I've been able to get into the vault already. From my experience, keycard 1, the one from the scavenger-esque contract, that gave me cash, stopping power, and specialist bonus. Again, all those perks that you have in Modern Warfare, all available at one time. Absolutely massive. Keycard 2, from doing the C4, gave me cash, the armor box, and an advanced UAV score streak. This being the actual advanced UAV that shows even players with Ghost, but instead of real-time triangles, it's a real-time dot with a caret above their icon to denote if the player is above or below you. Something that I feel like that the regular triple UAV strategy should do, but alas, it does not. And that keycard 3 ends up giving you cash, a field upgrade, mine was always dead silence here, and a contraband contract. Now, I mentioned earlier that unfortunately this doesn't seem to give you an exclusive or new blueprint reward, but that it was sort of asterisked. This contraband contract, I believe, cycles through the old Easter egg and contraband contract rewards, similar to how the Easter basket caches did for the weekend of Easter. So this should allow you to gain access to some older contraband and exclusive contracts if you don't have them already, that you may be able to farm if you end up doing this over the course of the next coming weeks and maybe catching up on some of those blueprints you don't have. But if you do have the blueprint, the contract will still drop and can still reward you with cash if you complete it, but it's exponentially less rewarding. But that's the Easter egg here and the quest line in a nutshell, and truth be told, the value in this is pretty interesting, I think. In Plunder, of course, it helps you out big time going for a win, but in BR, it might actually be a new strat here if somebody is daring enough to actually attempt this. Right now, I think it's a little bit too dangerous to do in a BR, but in about a week or two's time, whenever this is still around, but people don't really care too much about checking out Nakatomi Plaza, you might be one of maybe 2 teams there, if not uncontested, so you can do this at your own leisure and get a ton of cash and set yourself up incredibly well for a match. So that's something that you may be able to consider. Overall, though, my impressions of the quest here, I personally wish that we had a dedicated Easter egg with its own blueprint reward exclusive to this, but this is pretty cool too. Again, if you are somebody that wants to get exclusive blueprint rewards out of this and these Easter egg hunts, you can use that contraband contract to go back and get some older event items, but this also, I think, maybe makes sense if I think about it in a logical perspective, because other Easter eggs that we had where it rewarded players with an exclusive blueprint only available with that Easter egg, each of those were around for a couple of months at a time. This right now is only going to be available for a couple of weeks. So that may be their reasoning, but it is what it is and is something that is cool to pass the time, I believe, and so therefore can set you up in whatever mode you end up playing. But that said, that is the Easter egg here. That is our guide on how to do it, and hopefully this helps you out. So let me know your thoughts down below. Are you guys going to jump in and try this out? Did this help you out in any way, shape, or form? Feel free to let me know your thoughts down below. But hopefully you enjoyed the video. If you did, make sure to drop a like down below. And of course, if you are new to the channel, make sure you guys subscribe so don't miss a single thing regarding all things Warzone, Cold War, and anything COD related. We have a ton of stuff here to talk about still coming out of the mid-season update here for Season 3 Reloaded. So stick it here on the channel if you guys want to stay up to date with all of it. A quick heads up, my friends over at G Fuel ended up bumping code Espresso up to 30% off. So if you guys want to restock or try anything for the first time, now's as good a time as any in celebration here of the mid-season update. And if you guys do decide to pick up anything in relation to the Die Hard bundle or the Rambo bundle or anything else introduced in the shop here with Season 3 that you may see, if you're interested in helping out and supporting the channel a little further, you can use creator code Espresso in the support a creator functionality. It's entirely optional, but feel free to tweet me a picture if you do. I'd love to shout out some of your generous support. If you also want to follow me on Twitter and Instagram, there's the best places to get connected outside of YouTube. Practically on both those. So if you guys want to strike up a conversation, ask me a question, whatever it may be, that link is down there in the description below. Well, let's get out of the way. Thank you guys all so much for watching. My name has been Espresso. I'll see you guys later. Take care and peace.